Welcome to the weekend edition. I'm Dr. Kingori. Focus on the show tonight is voter registration, or should I say the new license to drink in Murang'a.
Just like you cannot drive without a driving license, you cannot drink without a voter's card.
Just to paint a picture of how wrong this sounds, imagine just chilling around with your friends, then one of them goes like, na feel na fani kunywe kitu bana. IBC wanafungua saa ngapi? See, interestingly, IBC hufunga 5 June, like closing for business, wanaenda nyumbani. The exact time bars open according to the laws. It's more like a shift change. And now, other than blackmailing of drunkards, there's a host of other funny techniques being applied out here to get Kenyans to register as voters.
Over in Embu, the rallying call was slightly more drastic. Mara Member of Parliament Kareke Mbuki is urging women in his constituency to deny men their conjugal rights until they show proof of registering as voters.
Kama wewe ni mwanamke na mzee ako pale na hana kula, kutoka saa hii mpaka kuendelea, hata pale achana nayo.
Evidently, our leaders are very serious about the elections this year. Now, this threat to be denied conjugal rights could be the number one reason of the low turnout by Kenyans to register as voters. Come to think of it, knowing very well how evil-minded Kenyans are, you stand in the queue to register as a voter. People can't even tell whether you are there as a patriot or just a member of Team Mafisi trying to obtain a license for something else. Mtu anakuangalia hivi anasema wewe si kura unataka wewe. Wewe hapana wewe. And that's awkward. And since they brought this up, have had cases of people justifying the reasons they are out to register as voters. Because ukisimama kwa line unajishuku. Vitu wamesema, just to be clear and to get to deflect other people from evil thoughts. Unaanza kuongea vitu, hata hujaulizwa na mtu kitu unaanza kujitetea. Unajua sisi kama wananchi ni jukumu letu kuchagua viongozi. It takes us to vote for change. Na hujaulizwa na mtu. And by the way, let me digress kidogo. I have a burning question. What was that mzee doing on the tractor?
Over in Embu, the rallying call was slightly more drastic.
Kwa nini lazima? I guess this is a clear contrast of the things you can do when you are young and the limitations when age catches up with you. There's a time to hang on matatus and a time when someone needs to hold you on a tractor. Yeah? But then, that aside, this is a time to talk about registration of voters. In some parts of the country, the levels of petty are just extreme.
John Kairu is busy at work in Kitengela, Kajiado County. Over and above his responsibility as the driver of this public service vehicle, Kairu has assumed an extra role, that of ensuring passengers have registered as voters before they can enjoy his services. So
to mean I can board a matatu and when the conductor comes for my fare, I be like, manze buda sina do lakini niko na kura utachukua. That would not go down well. The only way a vote would be relevant in a matatu is when you give the conductor 1,000 bob and you need to vote for change. Now, this particular instance of denying voters transport services actually affects voter turnouts directly.
More than 8,000 residents of Soleo Settlement Scheme in Laikipia East constituency are vowing to snub the ongoing voter registration exercise if IEBC does not allow them to change their polling stations at the current registration points. The residents want to change their polling station from Nyeri to Laikipia after new boundaries were set mid last year. The changes saw more than 15,000 people moved from Kieni constituency to Laikipia East.
Tukiangalia mnaona vile jua iko. Na sasa mtu anaambiwa atoke hapa uende baka na nyuki.
You see what they did there? Many people cannot walk to the designated registration center where you are supposed to get the voter's card because of the distance. And you also cannot board a matatu without a voter's card. So how do you get there? See, a conductor would have a proper answer for that. So unajua ni aje buda chukua avocado pasua alafu slide nayo mpaka sasa. I know that's a very lame joke, but najua kuna conductor anayesema hivyo. And that's not all. Our leaders are leaving no chance to voter apathy in these coming elections. However, I strongly feel that we are doing it all wrong. I don't see any relationship between registering as a voter and this.
Yule
mtu hajakata kura asiingie kwa buchari. Yule mtu hajakata kura hata nyumbani asipatiwe chakula. Akina mama mpo?
Now, that's an excuse for Akina Mama not to cook. But if it takes nutritional blackmail to register as a voter, then what you are applying for is a meal card, not a voter's card. And now here comes the theory. No voter's card, no food. Do these leaders even realize that some of the people they want to be denied food don't even have food in the first place? And then there's this.
We are not going to vote. Even if IBC comes here, they will come and leave blank. We do not have any right. If the right to life has been violated, why should they are there to right to vote?
And that's what this year's voters exercise seems to be all about, substitution of rights. And I'm not denying that some of these antiques being used may work, but they bring a whole new angle to this conversation. First of all, does the IEBC have the capacity to handle the process if all targeted Kenyans came out to vote?
Data from the IEBC indicates that the Commission intends to register at least 6.1 million voters. The current register has 15.9 million registered voters, and the Commission says there are 9.1 million Kenyans who have identity cards but have not registered as voters. During the exercise conducted in March last year, IEBC had targeted 4.1 million Kenyans from the potential of 8.3 million Kenyans at the time. In the end of the exercise, however, it only got 1.4 million Kenyans to register.
Simple mathematics, they targeted 4.1 and registered 1.4. Hiyo 4 ndio ilirudi huku nyuma. Now, and those figures, believe it or not, I'm not sure if they are inclusive of the netizens, the online voters. You see, there's the issue that we have kids that have malfunctioned. Na hapa tumelala. Because by now we should have seen fundi wa BVR kids somewhere around town mahali. Kids breaking down is not an excuse. If we have had someone who've never stepped in a medicine class performing surgery, tokosaje fundi wa BVR? Tuko na mpaka mwizi wa BVR, by the way.
The Friday night incident left residents of Ruiru town in shock as the IEBC offices are located just a few meters from the offices of the district commissioner. It is alleged that the suspects gained entry through the window and then cut the padlock from the inside and made away with the BVR machines.
How do you steal a BVR kit? What are you going to do with it? Open up private polling stations or use it in weddings and family gatherings to give vote of thanks? The Independent and Electoral Boundaries Commissions have only 1 month to register a target of 6 million new voters. With such a high number of unregistered votes lying around, the politicians can be excused for some of the mobilization ideas they've come up with lately. Like having IEBC officers set up a base in weddings and funerals. I thought the issue about manual backup in this year's election was to stop dead people from voting. Mnaenda kufanya nini kwa matanga? Now, just to be clear though, I'm all for everyone to come out and register to vote. And it's serious. It's very serious. Actually, some leaders have actually stripped for it.
Tumetoa jasho 2013. Tumetoa majacket 2013. Tumetoa viatu 2017. Tumetoa kila kitu kutafutia uhuru kura.
Imagine kama wangekuwa wanafanya kazi yao vile wanafanya kazi ya IEBC. Anyway, moving on swiftly. I believe we could save ourselves all this trouble if only we invested more in voter education as a country.
Ukiingia mashinani unakuta watu hawaelewi ni nini haja ya kupiga kura. Wanasema hatujaona mtu wa kutupea hii, hakuna hata mtu wa kutupea chai.
Whoever made tea a major export from this country alitukosea sana. And I totally agree with this guy. This election seems to be all about a supremacy battle of numbers other than policy. Policy goes hand in hand with education. Someone gets a voter's card, yes, but most importantly, do they know why they have it in the first place? Is it simply a license to drink or a new family planning trick? The process itself is very easy.
What does it take? What should you come to with? What should you come with to the station? And what are the modalities and the procedure generally?
You should personally come with your identification card. Visit your nearest IEBC voter registration. They'll ask your names, confirm the picture.
And there goes another hitch. Why would you use someone's ID photo to confirm if it's actually them? Nani ufanana na picha yake ya ID? I thought the BVR kits are fresh technology. Why not use Instagram photos? This is the same person. In one of the pictures, it's her Instagram look, and the other one, it's a ID look. And this is one of the problems we are facing, because you do realize that such a person would be denied a chance to vote because the biometrics do not match. Haufanani na wewe. We've got to give it up to the IEBC, though, for adopting new election technology. We've come a long way from the Mlolongo system of voting.
The exercise started well, with every voter lining up to be counted in the infamous Mlolongo system, but somewhere along the line, allegations of dirty tricks were thrown around, resulting in the fierce exchange.
The Mlolongo system was a very twisted understanding of standing up to be counted. It was pretty simple. Voters would come out, line up behind a picture of their preferred candidate. It's more like an analog version of Instagram. A profile picture, alafu followers. Did not quite work quite well, though. Now that we have proper technology, let's all come out and register to vote, but at least let's do it right. We'll be right back with tonight's guest and to help us break down this subject. Welcome back to the Weekend Edition. I'm Dr. Kingori. Our subject tonight is voter registration, and you can also get in touch with us on our social media handles running below your screen right now. And our guest on the show tonight, she has been labeled the best performing senator on the floor, and she's here with us to help us break down the subject. Senator Beatrice Elachi, ladies and gentlemen. Karibu sana on the show. As you see, it's not quite my style. Niko na Mwakenya because she carried an encyclopedia. And I'll go straight into it. What's your take on the antiques that have been out here and about? Hizo za watu wasikule, watu wasiingie kwa butchery. Who has the right to do that?
Well, it depends on the regions. For me, I would say every Kenyan, get out there, get a voter's card. But at the same time,
okay,
if the region has decided they cannot eat, unajua mimi siwezi ambia Waluhya wasikule, kwanza wataniuliza kwani kwanza kwa kilio arishukulia hata amini hiyo so mimi Mluhya akule, lakini aende achukue kura, ni haki yake.
Umeona hiyo word play hapo? Akule lakini aende achukue.
Kwa sababu mimi we have to eat.
No, these people are evil-minded. Sijamaanisha hiyo kitu mnafikiria.
Sijamaanisha hiyo ati kwanza Waluhya hatufanyangi hiyo. By the way, we are very moderate. Na hii kukula hii ingine mnakulanga vibaya hivyo. Lakini hii ingine Mungu amesema upate chakula, na hata Mungu akajua huko si rahisi upate njaa. So that is why. So yeye ana haki yake, asubuhi akiamka afungue kinywa aende achukue kura. Hiyo ni sawa.
What's your input in a voter in getting people to register as vote? Hata wewe umekataa kupika?
Well, sijakataa kupika. Manake first of all, voting is your right.
Okay.
Yeah. To get a voter's card is also your right.
So as drinking
but
and eating, isn't it?
It is also not a must. But ask yourself, if you do not take that voter's card now,
okay,
and then you are waiting in 2018, you'll be number one complaining things are not working. Yet, you are not part to bring that change for things to work.
There is the issue of you not voting is also voting.
Well, yeah, of course. And there's one.
Yes.
We are now saying, take the voter's card.
If I was by there calling the shots, I would have it very simple. I know Kenyans ni watu wa last minute.
Of course, yes.
Yes. The deadline is 14th.
Yeah.
Ukiambia watu inaanza 13th. Everyone will show up and register. Yes.
Na wataitisha holiday.
I install this whole month hapa.
And they will ask even for a holiday to go and take.
A Holy Communion.
Yeah. But you know the most sad thing, Kingori, is that we have now rushed all of us again, as you say, yet for the whole year, voter registration is continuous.
For the whole year?
For the whole year. It has been there.
The previous whole year, IBC have been conducting the voter registration.
Yes.
So I would show up at an IBC office na wasifikiria ni pombe nataka kukunywa. Oh, really? And how about the debate that we had recently about the manual backup for the elections?
For me, this manual and electronic thing, and it's just to identify that this is Beatrice Elachi. Yeah, this is just to identify. When I walk into a polling station, identify me.
And
from there, I go back to a manual system where I will tick my ballot manually. I will weka kwa sanduku manually. I will walk away. In the evening, when they start counting, do they count electronic? No. One, manually. When you're sick, you have either two alternatives. You look for a friend to give you blood, or I'll take you to an ICU. Before you die, Kingori, I'll take you to an ICU where you'll be treated, isn't it? Okay. So there are many, everything, God created an alternative. That's why we have the sun and the moon. And when we are in Kenya, when it is night, somewhere else is day, but he knows why. There was an alternative of not making the whole world that you are at night, it's night.
Oh, now it makes sense. I had the leader of opposition akisema Jubilee walikimbia usiku. Sasa
wao wanaonanga Jubilee mchana na wao wenyewe ndio wanajiona usiku na ni makosa. Kila mtu ako na haki ya kusema venye wanasema. But in the end, I believe it is for us Kenyans to change our destiny, to believe in our destiny, to believe in our country. And I like Trump. I know many people hate Trump, but one thing I love about Trump, he's going to make Americans believe in their own country and love their country first. Even though Americans love their country, yes, but more and more, that is one thing he's going to instill. Love your country, regardless
you do
of
realize,
what.
You do realize that Trump and Miguna could mean the same thing.
now that he's a president, and Miguna has not become, they don't mean the same things.
Ouch. Now, how are you guys dealing with, how do we ordinary Kenyans, such niulize kama mtu wa kawaida, how do you deal with the propaganda? Because there's the issue of some youth are scared to go register as voters because actually there's word that ukishika hiyo kitu, dhambi zako zote zinatokea hapo. So the police will come looking for you.
Na mimi najua vijana wetu wengi wameogopa hiyo. But the best I could say is kama wewe umekaa miaka 3 years and you have never you did something but 3 years down the line uko sawa, why should you fear? It means you have moved on. So even that police who is looking for you,
dhambi is gonna expiry date.
Of course, yes. Hata kwa God zina expire.
And so to mean that hawa tu wanaogopa story ya kwenda kushika.
Wasiogope.
Ngeta inatokea hapo sijui nini.
But anyway, this is for IEBC. Polisi akitaka tena fingerprints, yeye atachukua fingerprints the day utakuwa na hiyo shida. But this one is purposely for IEBC.
How many languages do you speak?
I can speak comfortably Kiluya, comfortably Kikikuyu. I can do Kikamba.
Kikamba, okay.
And then, Kiswahili na Kizungu.
So you are both the opposition and the government?
There were no any other person from that side that voted for Baba.
No, I don't mean like that. I mean like you are a cocktail of all those in those 4 languages.
Yes.
Find one to give Kenyans the reason why they should come out and register to vote.
Adwaito damoda either mume mkoe kura.
Sasa tufanyie the same thing you've said in the same language na accent ya Kiluya.
In Kikuyu?
Yes.
It won't work. Kiluya.
To speak both languages.
I will just say in Kiluya, abandu befu. Yes. I can only say in Kikuyu. Abandu befu, murule, mubukule ikura yao.
Yes, that's the actual wording. That's the actual wording, but we want there. Najua puta mnataka mkuje mkuje.
Hiyo si kwa Kiswahili sasa.
Yes, but sasa in Kikuyu.
Woi.
In Kikuyu.
And I to that one Kingori it won't work.
Mkuje mchukue kura.
I mix with Kiswahili.
No, I'm trying.
I can only mix with Kiswahili a bit. If you want it to work. And I to munafaa mchitokeze mchukueko hii kura. Hii kura ni maisha maku. It won't work.
Nice try.
It won't work.
Come out and vote, but see juu ya kukula or anything. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
That has been nominated Senator Beatrice Elachi on the show tonight discussing voter registration. And before I sign out for this show, I have something I feel that is really important to talk about. We've made fun of police officers on this show several times before, in a good way, Lakini, in a good way. And on Thursday night, I had an experience with 4 police officers that really touched me in Naivasha. It's a very long story I wouldn't talk about right now, but I would like to give a shout out to officers from the Naivasha police station, Boniface, there's Nganga and Nicholas Kogo, and also an officer called Makori. He was their driver. It was an act that I was so touched. Ushaiguzwa mpaka unaona polisi akifanyia kitu poa unasikia kumpea 50 bob, but anakufanyia kitu na feel hawezi muafford. That was a classic. That was a classic. I was so touched, and I hope that our police officers can keep up that spirit. And on that note, that's it for the weekend edition. See you next week. My name is Dr. Kingori.